5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Thursday! Yes, sirree! And ma'am, as always, and everything else that is there and listening, I appreciate you so much. Today is Thursday, January. Man, what even is it? I'm losing track, honestly. Obviously, if you haven't noticed, the podcasts for yesterday and today are both coming out late. And I will explain why in today's show. But you may hear some commotion in today's show because today's show, where I mentioned that we may be floating around with some different concepts and trying out some different things on the show in terms of format and how we want it to flow. And so today, I've had the idea the whole day, but I wasn't sure if I was going to act on it, or if I was, when. And so turns out it's right now. And so the whole thing, the whole concept, I guess, of the theme of today's show is that today's show is on the move. It's on the go. And I'm recording this as I drive, basically. I'm on Lamar and I'm headed north, just past Barton Springs Road. And the reason for that is because I basically live a lot on the go. And the whole reason that yesterday's show is delayed and today's show is delayed, because usually we try to get the show out every day at 3:33. That's been the idea. And up until recently, I've been able to do that with these. But today's show, usually we have our high five topics of the day, and that's our format, where we pick a local, world, sports, entertainment, news story of the day, and then we wrap it up with the jam of the day and then our closing message. But today's show, since we're doing it on the go, and I don't have my notes for the news and all of that, today's show is just kind of off the cuff too. But there are some things I did want to discuss in today's show while we're on the go. And the first one being how my day yesterday went. And I say this because I've had two days in the last 2 days that were similar in some ways and very different in others. And I think that the ways that they're similar and the ways that they're different are really key in, the flow of my life currently. And I think it'd be interesting to share, basically. So yesterday, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because I'm not complaining. Everything that happens, because it needed to happen. I needed it to happen to me or for me, or I needed to cause it. And when things don't go ideally, or when things create suffering or pain or frustration, or just aren't going smoothly, it's trying to tell you something or show you something or help you learn something. And I fully embrace that idea by now, though of course it is challenging, as the more intense things can get. And so basically my day yesterday was one of those days where it seems like pretty much everything is going wrong, or pretty much everything can't go smoothly, at least. And so I started yesterday. By the way, of course, I'm joined by Nova and Amber, my co-hosts, my two pups. And you can follow me at beami.music on Instagram and YouTube. And then my website is beami.earth. And I have some writings, some historical articles, all of my lyrics to my songs, as well as my music, of course, on there. You can access Apple Music, Spotify. There was a bump. Another bump. This is Lamar is bumpy you're on the go, off the cuff. So you can access, all the major streaming platforms from my front page of my website, as well as this podcast. So anyways, I wanted to. So I was discussing how yesterday began. It was a chilly morning, but it wasn't too bad. And so I ended up taking Nova and Amber to the Central Dog Park in the Domain Central Park here in North Austin. And if you've been to this dog park, you know that it's like basically all wood chips, and I don't know. There's like just not much for the dogs to do, and it's not necessarily super big. But anyways, um, we go there, and that was mainly just to like let them get some fresh air and pee before we like actually went on and started our day and went somewhere else. And Nova is the sweetest, and she's also like the most athletic and hyperactive dog I've ever seen. And she's definitely chilled out in the last several months, but she's just awesome. And so Nova likes when she's happy and she wants to appreciate you or someone else, she likes to give kisses, and kisses are on the mouth. That's what a kiss is, and she knows she can reach anybody's mouth, and so that results in her kind of going up to somebody and wiggling and wagging her tail and then looking up at them, and they usually like look down at her, and then she bops them with a kiss, either in the nose or in the mouth. And most people are understanding about it, but anyways, she did this to me because she does this to me as well sometimes. And right shortly after we got to the Domain, and like someone asked me there, the only question I got asked when I was there, the only person who talked to me was this girl, and she saw that I was wearing my blue jean shorts, and she was like, "It's so cold, like how are you in shorts?" And I was like, I didn't know how to, I didn't have an answer ready for that. I don't know, I didn't like face that question yet, and I was just like, I'm outside all the time, so I've gotten used to it, I guess. And then she didn't say anything, and then Nova was getting all happy and stuff, and she like jumped and bopped me, and she I know normally it's fine, but then I'm like, man, like my tooth kind of hit my lip, and I was like, man, that kind of hurt, but like it's fine. And then I eventually touched my lip, and I'm like, dang it, I'm bleeding. And it wasn't bad, and it wasn't like gushing blood or something, but I just had like a little cut thing that was bleeding, and I was like, great. And the only reason it's a part of this story is because it seemed like it set the tone for the day, because I was like, not something that bothered me or felt like the day was off. But then I was trying to do grocery delivery all day, and there wasn't many orders. This story just sounds like I'm complaining, but I swear there's a point, and I'm just telling you how it unfolded. Basically, this is Wednesday, by the way, and so I knew going into Wednesday that I had been invited to the Joe Rogan and Friends comedy showcase at Vulcan Gas Company, which began at 7:00, and I was planning on being there at 6:45, and so I knew that I was going to do that all day, and I knew that I would wake up with like no money. I thought I was going to wake up with $10, but it turned out I woke up with -$4 for something. And so I was like, cool, I'll do grocery delivery, get that back up real quick, get myself like ready, and then go to the show. And man, some days are like this, and this is why you can't rely on it. There were like no orders available, and like the whole day, like everyone was on top of it, everyone was working. It was a nice day, and there was like no orders to come by. Every time there almost was when it got taken before I could even take it. So I didn't make any money, and then I kept driving a little bit, and that used my gas. And then I was like, I don't know that I have enough gas to get to the show tonight. Like, I don't know if I can go. And then basically like a little over an hour before the show, I finally order pops up for me, and it's like a promo, which means like it's not based on time, and you earn more money because it's probably late and all that. Someone dropped it late or whatever, and it needs to get done, so you get paid extra. And so this promo was like $20, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I needed in this time. And so I did the order. I got the $20, and then you have to wait an hour before you can transfer the amount. And then I had to wait actually over an hour because I had transferred the previous day, and you can only transfer once in a day. So I had to wait that 24-hour period, which was really meaning from this moment I completed the order with less than an hour before the show, I had about 2 hours probably to get any of that. And so then I go to I basically find a place to park, and I walk as far as I can. Oh, I totally forgot the other part about this day, where I then took Nova and Amber to a different park later in the afternoon to let them get some energy out before, they did chill and I go to the show. And it was Ramsey Park. And so we were there for a while, and then at some point, I'm like, all right, we need to get going. And, Nova, she likes to be carried, and she pretends like she doesn't want to be carried, but then when I carry her, she is like, yeah, this is what I wanted. But like, she's defiant and like wants to, keep running around the park. And so I pick her up, and then she just lets me carry her to the car. And so I'm carrying Nova while like turning around and calling Amber to come follow us. And Amber's sniffing something, super, super curious about it, and isn't really responding and coming over. And I'm carrying Nova, and I turn back around to face like the direction I was walking, right at the moment that I ram my knee into a like super durable, hard wooden picnic table, and it like just sends me to the ground. And I like Nova like had to jump out of my arms because I basically like flung her off, as I fell on accident. And I could tell it hurt. I mean, I wasn't like, I knew like I was like, nothing was broken, nothing was torn. I knew it was just like a really weirdly hard impact that was gonna, be kind of painful. And it was, and it ached. And I just kind of laid and wallowed on the ground for a while, and Nova ran back over to Amber, and I just started all over again. But, and I just, put my hand on it and breathed, and until I was able to stand up again and limp back over to them, and then finally get them to go. And so then I'm like, great, now I have to go to the show. Not that I have to, it was a privilege and honor to be invited and go. But I have to, I have to head to the show and probably park far enough away to where I don't have to pay for parking because I don't have the money at the moment. And, but also like now I'm limping, so I don't want to walk like really far, just like hurt myself more or whatever. And so I end up, parking fairly close, not having to pay. And then it was like freezing. So I get to the show, and I had a great time. And it was Ron White played, and he was one of the like first stand-up comics I ever knew, mainly because of the show with Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy, Blue Collar, forget what it was called, Blue Collar TV or something like that. And like he randomly got to perform, and I liked his set the best. Anyways, excuse me. So then, I at the show ends, I go. We're on the go, and we just got to our destination here at this parking lot at HEB, and people are zooming and just doing whatever they want and going whichever way they want. And that ain't how you're supposed to go, sir. But hey, do whatever you want, Anyways, Wow, yeah, there you go. I'm getting targeted in all directions. Just kidding. We have found our landing spot, so we are no longer on the move, but we are on the go because I'm here to get some water. But we'll wrap up the show first. So basically, the show ends. I leave. So I see that I can transfer the money now. So I transfer the money. I believe I get $10 from the 20 or whatever of gas on my way home to go to sleep, and it doesn't move my gas dial like at all. Like it was on the E thing and it stayed there. And so I'm like, whatever, at least I have enough for the heater tonight. And so I'm like, better day next day. So today I'm like, all right, well, I'll record the podcast later. I won't stress myself out about it. I'll try to see what orders I can do today and just try to, make as much as I can with the amount of gas that I have until I can fill it up to try to actually make more to then somehow build something. And also, I applied to multiple jobs, job listings today and yesterday. So those opportunities can exist, but that takes time and all of that. So I'm doing what I can outside of that to stay afloat. And basically today, I just knew that I had to have a much more optimistic and positive and energetic outlook to the day and to the moment to moment. And so today was great. We went to the park early and, got to play and run around and all of that. And then we went to Bull Creek. It's beautiful, a special place. And so then we were able to get an order and it paid $7 and no one tipped. And that was the only order I was able to get today. And so I was like, well, yesterday, or sometimes I'm able to sit outside this Goodwill and play ukulele and earn a couple dollars, and at least that'll be me doing something that is towards a potential to earn dollars, but I'm also not driving and moving my vehicle, and those hours are spent being still and not burning gas. And so I went to do that, and I did, and I was playing, and man, people were really appreciative of it, which it was great. I was so thankful. And I don't know, it was probably an hour or so, maybe less. And by the time I'm, thinking, all right, I got to pack up, I look in the thing, and I think based on what was dropped in while I was playing, I thought I had maybe $6, wishful thinking for $7, so I could get, have $14 and have 10, get 10 for gas and keep the 4. And but when I'm packing up, I look in the case and there's a $20 bill in there, and I had 9 $1 bills, so I had $29. So I was able to get $17 of gas and still have over $10 and get some food and all that. And all of this happened in the later part of the afternoon, because in the early afternoon, literally around lunchtime, probably around right at noon, I ran out of gas. I was turning on Anderson Lane and Burnett, and I was turning into the gas station, the 7-Eleven, and while I'm waiting for cars to not be in the way to turn, my car ran out of gas. And I was like, man, I don't even, oh, wow. It's okay. It's okay. okay. So that was a guy who, like, I don't know, randomly brought out his husky and then stood next to our car. And, Nova and Amber weren't too happy about that. But they say hello. And that is an example of what happens basically every 2 to 3 minutes when I'm driving around during the day, because Amber will seek out the sign of any dog or any person at this point walking by and start barking, which then Nova wouldn't care normally, but then Nova gets hyped up because Amber's barking, and then it turns into that, and it takes forever to calm him down. So, that's another side of this lifestyle that you get to share. Yeah, it's intense. They're intense, but they love other dogs. Like, yeah, I haven't been able to get them to stop that. They sound, ferocious, but they love other dogs, and they love all things. Anyways, let's get back to the show. So basically, I run out of gas. I have my flashers on, but everyone keeps honking at me, so I guess they don't realize that. And I'm like, I can't move. And I block a bunch of traffic in the lunch hour rush. And so I'm like, wow, there's like no one that I can like think of to help. And like I can push it, but then I can't steer it, and then like I don't want to push it, and then I can't push it further, and then I'm in like oncoming traffic with the dogs in the car and all that stuff. So I called 311. They told me to call Hero, so I call Hero, and they say, you're not on a highway, we can't help you, sorry. And then I called 911 because they told me to get someone to direct traffic, and then they're like, we'll send someone out, and then no one came, and 2 cops drove by me, and I tried to flag one down, but he just kept driving. So then I'm just basically standing outside of my car with it in neutral, ready to like start pushing once the light is clear. And then someone yells at me from across the street at the 7-Eleven at the gas station. He's like, hey, you just run out of gas? And I was like, yeah, literally, like I'm made it this far, but I'm out of gas. And he's like, I have a can. And I was like, oh, sweet, thank you so much. And so he came over and he had enough gas in his can to give me started. And then I pulled in and we talked for a while, and he gave me $10 for gas and a job opportunity and his number, and we're keeping in touch. And it was a beautiful thing, and it really, it brought tears to my eyes, and it made me so motivated for the day. And so I was like, cool, I have this money for gas. Now I have a little bit of money to eat, and also I'm gonna like chill for a bit and go to play, like I said, outside the Goodwill and try to see what money I can earn. And I ended up getting that $29. And then I was like, wow, like I'm good for the day basically. And I have enough. The reason I was playing at the Goodwill was because I didn't know if I had enough gas to go to South Congress. And so I went to South Congress once I left Goodwill. And actually I took Nova and Amber to the park and we ran around for a while. And then I went to South Congress and played for the first time. And I didn't, I had never done it, so I didn't know exactly where I should play. So I played outside of a closed building and further down. And I should, next time I'll move up a little bit, but where the shops are open. But man, I made $5 and it felt really good. And when I was at Goodwill, and I don't know if it was the guy who gave me the 20 or just, what, it doesn't matter. But one of the guys who tipped me, he walked up to me and he said, while I was playing, and he was like, keep playing, man. And there's just something about the way he said it and what the words were and how it hit me. And I teared up, and, he was long gone, and I was just like, yeah, keep playing. And I realized, like, I'm a damn artist. So I'm going to keep playing. I made more money sitting there on the corner playing than I did delivering groceries. And I realized I'm not delivering any more damn groceries. I'm playing. I can't stop playing. So I'll find whatever street, whatever corner, whatever spot, and I'll sing. And I'll play. And I'll get myself out of this situation. And I'll feed my pups the best. And I'll feed myself the best. And I'll create the best for myself and my world and my responsibilities. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for joining us. This has been What's the Buzz? I am Beami. And I will catch you for a Friday TGIF edition tomorrow. Peace. Love and light. Good night.